A couple of items here. Newsmax, one of the fascist propaganda networks on television, right? They may be dropped from DirecTV. This is yet another fascist news network that is facing what is truly an existential threat. And I can only hope. You know how I'm going to hope. But Newsmax network. Now, DirecTV is thinking about dropping them just as they did last year to the pro-Trump fascist network, One America News. Remember that? Abortion? Oh, my God. One America News. Anyway, this is according to a letter sent last week, I would assume, from the Nazis at Newsmax to House Republicans. And this was originally reported by the Daily Beast. The letter reads this, and it was sent to the first-term neo-fascist Wesley Hunt, a Christian fascist from Texas, who is a regular guest on Newsmax, apparently. Anyway, the letter said this in part, quote, "If Newsmax is removed from DirecTV, in less than a year, House Republicans will have lost two of the three cable news channels that reach conservative voters on a platform that primarily serves conservative-leaning areas of the country," end quote. Well, horseshit. When they say three cable news channels that reach conservative voters, no, come on. The corruption of language is one thing, but for Christ's sake, these people can't be honest. It's not conservative voters, it's fascist voters. Anyone who votes for these Christian fascists or Trump or any of his foul-mouthed surrogates, his liars, his cheaters, his grifters and deceivers, these are not conservatives. I can live with conservatives. I live with conservatives all my life, had them in my family. I didn't see anything wrong with them. I voted against them. They voted against me. So in a sense, I guess we canceled each other's votes. But they weren't goddamn crazy like these people, these fascists. Anyway, this letter, was co-signed by 41, count them, 41 Christian fascist lawmakers. And the letter goes on to accuse DirecTV and its corporate owners, AT&T and TPG Capital, of this, quote, "You are moving to deplatform Newsmax by denying it cable fees on a fair and equitable basis," end quote. Oh, you know, this is what gets me about these scum, these sewer rats. They would have no problem suppressing all sorts of information, language, history. They suppress it all the time. Talk about black. Oh, no. Talk about gay. Oh, no. Talk about a Muslim. No. But when their ass starts to be pinched a little bit, oh, don't they just lose it altogether. And the letter also referenced comments from Democratic members of the House Energy and Commerce Committee that described Fox News, Newsmax, and the Onan network as, quote, "misinformation rumor mills and conspiracy theory hotbeds," end quote. Well, okay, and that's putting it mildly. And in these testimonies that are coming out from sewer rats like Sean Hannity and the rest of these scum at the Fox sewer, they're all saying the same thing. Yeah, we don't believe anything we put out there. Of course it's bullshit. Of course it's a conspiracy. Of course it's crazy. I never believed Trump. I really didn't. Well, then why did you talk about him and present his bullshit that the election had been stolen from? Well, now you're asking me to violate my First Amendment right. Your First Amendment right. That's the thing that so many of these knuckleheads don't understand. Any corporate entity has a perfect legal right. That's nothing to do with the Constitution. They have a perfect legal right to not carry a radio network or a television network. These It's the government, you stupids, who can't make laws restricting speech. The government has not come out and said the truth about Onan News and Fox and the rest of these swine, Newsmax, and the convicted felon that's soon going to prison, the one that lives in a dumpster. The government doesn't say shit about them, except they're liars. But the FCC has not made any effort to take away their broadcast license. That would be violation of the First Amendment. But if DirecTV says we're not going to carry you anymore because you sit out there and lie or fascist bullshit, or a variation of that, that's not violating the First Amendment. Now, you know that. I know that. But these brain-dead freaks that cluster around Trump like flies around a dung heap, they apparently don't know it. Anyway, the letter signed by how many? 41 Christian fascist lawmakers went on to say, quote, given the jurisdiction of the Energy and Commerce Committee over your company's business interests, that would be DirecTV, it is reasonable to assume you took this letter seriously and complied with these demands. What demands? You talk about the comments from the Energy Committee about Fox and Onan and Newsmax. You know, these little pissant Christian fascists should grow up at some point and start trying on big boy pants instead of running around in their diapers like they are wont to do. Anyway, a representative from DirecTV didn't dispute that the deal they have with Newsmax and DirecTV expires late tonight, as this Christian demon representative from Texas, Mr. Hunt, claimed. But the representative from DirecTV said the network was asking for fees the company doesn't think are warranted. Oh, well, there you go. You know, I can go to the public supermarket, and when I'm told it's $7.89 for a dozen eggs, I don't think the fees are warranted either. But if I go to the store manager and say these fees aren't warranted, the store manager will probably say, sir, please, I've got shelves to stack. If you don't want the eggs, don't buy them. The representative of DirecTV told the Daily Beast that their initial deal, that was when DirecTV became one of the first distributors to offer Newsmax to its viewers back in 2014. DirecTV deferred certain fees to allow Newsmax to reach a wider audience. That'd be like the Publix manager saying, well, sir, $7.49 for a dozen eggs a little high. I'll tell you what, until you have a better job, you only have to pay $5 a dozen. But anyway, when DirecTV made that offer to Newsmax 10 years ago almost, it was with the expectation that advertising on that shithole of a network would make up the difference. But it was now asking, Newsmax is now asking carriers of their slop, like DirecTV, for better terms after they enjoyed a brief rating surge, Newsmax did, following the 2020 election, because all the gonifs and half-wits and grifters knew they weren't going to get the lies and deception pouring out of the orange vomit's mouth on a network, a real network, cable or broadcast, so they all clustered around Newsmax. Now, some smaller carriers like Atlantic Broadband have said, we've had enough of this shit, and they have dropped Newsmax. But DirecTV is a little bit different. It's not like Atlantic Broadband. Anyway, the representative from DirecTV also pointed out that Newsmax is now seeking license fees from carriers, people who carry this filthy shithole of a channel, and at the same time making the contents available for free on YouTube and streaming services like Amazon, Fire TV, and Roku. Well, if it's free over there, then how can you demand from your ever-shrinking pool of carriers more money? Stop giving it away free, you dumb shits. Oh, that's a little bit too complicated for them, isn't it? Oh, well. Now, employees at Newsmax also told the Daily Beast that they didn't know much about the negotiations, and they were caught off guard by Representative Texas Christian fascist Hunt's claims about losing DirecTV. But Hunt indicated Republicans may get involved in the dispute. Anyway, Mr. Hunt told the Washington Examiner, a fascist newspaper, quote, "It's a political decision to censor conservative media, which is a red flag for the First Amendment. The latest development in the left's ongoing campaign to purge voices they disagree with from the public sphere." Okay. I'll go along with that. Because the voices that the so-called left would like to purge are basically the same voices that the nation of Germany decided to purge after World War II. And that was references to the horror that the Nazi regime put that country and the world through. In other words, the German government said, we certainly believe in the right of person to voice their opinion, but where it concerns Nazism, no way. That's the law. Well, the same thing here. This is not a political left campaign to purge voices that the left disagrees with. It is an attempt to purge voices, that fill the airwaves with lies and deception and hate and poison and conspiracy theories that are about as valid as, when apples fall off a tree, they fall up. To purge that garbage out of the American political discourse is only one thing. A great idea. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. The Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.